everyone, it's Luli, and today I will be talking to you about Otome games that will definitely make your heart race like crazy. By this, basically I mean that these are Otome games that have a lot of passionate romance, so you might see a little bit more skin color than usual. Games that are kind of almost like borderline R18. So if you feel like fluffy, cute, shoujo manga romance isn't quite enough for you, then I would highly recommend these games. But anyway, what I'll do is just quickly go through them. I will not be including any spoilers. However, do note that what I consider spoilers and what you consider spoilers may not quite align. So if you're sensitive about even the smallest detail, like what the character looks like, then I would swiftly move on. But anyway, let me start. So I'll begin with Localized, and amongst Localized Otome games, the very first that comes to mind has got to be Olympia Soiree. Now this game, the whole premise is just looking for a husband, so it's kind of clear that you're gonna get some steam in it, since it's Olympia's kind of exploration of herself and falling in love. So basically the game is based in a country or an island where there's a strict color class system, and she is the only color of white that is left. Now this is quite worrying because it's those of the color white that are able to bring the sun to rise within the country, and obviously if she dies that means there's no sun, and sun is kind of like the source of life, if you know what I mean. So it's basically her journey of having to find a husband in order to leave a kid so that there's more daughters of the color of white. And I'm not gonna lie, I think every single route had some level of steam. Like even Himuka, who is the character that you would probably expect it least from, even he had moments where you're like, oh, okay, I didn't expect that from you. If I were to rank it in terms of steam, I would probably put Akaza at the top. I think I saw the most skin color in his route, I'm not gonna lie. I think then Yosuga and Kuroba was quite steamy as well. Tokisada was surprising too. I think it was like Akaza and then, Tokisada, Kuroba and Yosuga. And then Riku and Himuka maybe. Riku is a little bit more kind of reserved, I guess, because of his upbringing. However, at the very end, you do get a delicious CG, so definitely play him until the end to look forward to that lovely CG where you look at it and your heart's gonna be racing and you'll be like, oh my god, this is so cute, if you know what I mean. But yeah, so that's Olympia Soiree. Now the second one of the Localized that comes to mind is Piofiore. Now this is somewhat it's kind of route dependent. There are a couple of routes where you don't really have that much theme. You do have romance and there's a lot of passion, but it's just not like uber skin color, if you know what I mean. And this game is a mafia game about, an innocent girl who ends up getting involved in mafia wars, and as you can expect, considering mafias are, illegal and it's full of crime, you'd also expect there to be some of the more steamy stuff as well. Now, if I were to rank it, Yang, definitely Yang. Yang, there are some CGs where I'm just like, what is happening? And I'm so, when I was playing his route, I was like, is this really not, like I understand R18, you kind of have to see, everything, if you know what I mean. Like in R18 games, you see like literally everything. Whereas, so in this case, it's R17 because you see skin color, but it's not like everything. I don't know if I'm making any sense. So I can see why it wasn't R18, but at the same time, there's so much. I'm kind of surprised. So yeah, that's one to consider. Again, ranking it, I'd put Yang here, and then I think Nicola and Gil were sort of on the same level underneath, I think, and then Dante was below that, and then Orlok didn't really have much going on. I think his route was very much him exploring how he feels about Lily, the main character. So it's a little bit I don't know. I think it was quite innocent, really. So yeah, if you want steam, Yang, trust me, Yang is full of it. So that's Piofiore. Now I'm going to move on to unlocalized games now. One that immediately came to mind is a game that I'm currently playing called Fortissimo. Now this game is full of angst. It's weird because it's a game about you being the manager of this idol group called Fortissimo. And you know, when I played it, I was thinking that it was just going to be some cute, you know, idol game like Uta no Prince-sama or something, but I was so wrong. It's full of angst. I've never come across a game that's so angsty. You know, there's some of the characters, the roots are just, oh, it kind of feels a bit depressing, to be honest, because you know, you're the manager and each route you explore that character's like backstory and the issues that they're going through, and those issues, some of them, oh. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't recommend it to those who want something happy. Like, don't think it's going to be a happy idol game, because it really isn't. However, I am adding it onto the Steam list because literally this game, it has what's called a carnival ending. Now in another one of my videos, I have gone through some of these terms. Carnival is when a guy is super like forward and, you know, really into that sort of thing. Like, that's kind of a carnivorous guy, you know. And in this game there is actually an ending called the carnival ending, and you basically get a CG that I called bed scene CGs, where, you know, you see the main character and the love interest kind of like in bed, or you know, making out or whatever. Like, it's one of those, and a couple of them are yeah, it's just like complete topless, muscular, you see everything and you're like, whoa, okay, I don't want to play this in public transport type of thing. So yeah, it does have some deep passion. I'd say story-wise it's nothing special, and I think the main character was a little bit not to my liking, because it's about this girl who's not really, you know, it kind of isn't good at anything. I know that sounds really harsh, and don't get me wrong, she improves as the game goes on, but you know, I couldn't help but kind of, I like my MCs to kind of be someone who I strive to be, and this MC didn't really fit that category, so I did find her a little bit annoying at times, but I wanted to add it to this list because it's, you know, one of the steamier games that I've played. Now, another one that comes to mind when I think of Steam is a game called Jakou no Lyla. Now, Jakou no Lyla was originally a PC game, not like, it's R18, but not like the super R18, in the sense that you don't necessarily have CGs where you see everything, but there are some ways of description where they go into quite a deep description about certain acts, if you know what I mean. So I think that's why it originally was a PC game, but I think the Switch version, they haven't like cut out any CGs or anything like that, so I'd say the Switch game is just as fine. It was originally split into 3 parts, the European night, the Asian night, and the Arabian night. I have played the European and Asian nights, and I'm currently in the process of playing the Arabian nights, and they all are incredibly steamy. And the reason for this is that you're the main character who is actually a spy, but she utilizes, I guess, her beauty and sex appeal in order to gain information from these different guys, and I guess in each sort of part there are 2 love interests, and no matter what route you pick, there's always a little bit of that, like, obviously some of that steamy acts that go on, because, well, she's a spy that relies on her sex appeal, and in fact it's this steamy. It's like there's this tattoo she uses that gets like guys really riled up, so you know, but don't get me wrong, it's not steamy in like a garish ugly way, it's steamy in like a, okay, it makes sense kind of way, if you know what I mean, where I'm sort of like, yeah, I can see why it's necessary in this story. And the story is good too. Like, some of the scenes I think could potentially make some people cry. So, you know, it's not like they've just made it for the sake of there being steam or passion or like deep romance. It all fits, which is something I really look for in a game, because I just don't really see the point in games where it's just like the selling point is that, because I don't know, I just don't really see the point of it, because I play these games for both like the romance as well as the story, if you know what I mean. But this one's really good. I would highly recommend it, because the MC is so pretty, and like someone that I aspire to be, the way she is. I think I gave this game the best heroine award in my last year's, you know, like award ceremony. So, you know, she's someone I aspire to be. All the guys are really cute. I think my favorite has got to be Kirei from the Asian Knights one. And he's like the stereotypical big puppy trope, and yeah, he was cute, and so yeah, I definitely recommend it. Now, last but not least, I've chosen one that's a little bit less known. I don't think many people know of this game because it wasn't like hugely advertised, and it was from a much smaller company. It's called Varupuruga no Uta. Now, this game is, I think, the most surprising out of all the games that it was, you know, made and moved to PS Vita, because I think it was originally a PC game, and they just, you know, they didn't cut anything, they just brought it straight onto the PS Vita. And honestly, some of the scenes, I'm like, how did this get an R17 rating? Because it's just, you know, it's got a vampire in it, and obviously you've got like the vampire sucking onto the main character's, you know, neck, and you hear all the noises and stuff, and then there's the CG that, you know, it's interesting because it doesn't go from like just one CG to another. It's just because a lot of Steamy games, or any games like from Otome I've seen, is that they have either one or two CGs. So it'll just be like, you know, they say the story and then you get a CG of them kissing or making out or whatever. And that's fine, but I prefer it when they go, they do what, let's say, a company like Quinn Rose does, which actually, you know what, I'll tag a game from theirs in a moment because I've changed my mind from the structure I decided. But Quinn Rose's games, for example, they have a CG for each step. Now, they may not necessarily be well drawn, however, I like that because it feels more immersive. So you might, you know, see the characters sort of hold hands, and then you might see them like cute kissing, and then you might see them like super kissing, and then, you know, they'll be making out. Like each step has like a CG, which to me is more immersive because I can imagine what's going on better. So, and Varupuruga no Uta kind of had a little bit of this, where they had a step-by-step type thing, and I kind of appreciate that. But this game is about a girl who, I think something happens to her and this vampire when she's a child, I think. And then that vampire gets obsessed with her, and then it's when she grows up that he starts obsessively following her, and then there are these two werewolf people who also like her, and it's very much a supernatural fantasy game. I wouldn't say the story's like brilliant, but it was good enough to keep me entertained. And yeah, some of those CGs, again, they're delicious. So, oh my god, everyone's gonna think I'm a complete pervert talking about Steam like this, but I'm sorry, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, these CGs, they make my heart race, and I really like that feeling. So, you know, I'm just gonna put it straight out there, because I'm sure there are a lot of people that feel the same way about this as I do. But yeah, that was a good one. And talking about vampires, how can I forget this game or series, which is Diabolik Lovers? This is a unique one in that I believe it started off with a drama CD, and all the voice actors use a dummy microphone, which is kind of, you know, the 3D and 3DIO, I don't know how you pronounce it, but they're these microphones where they have like a head and like ears, and it's binaural, so it has this like 360 degree, like, sort of, you feel like you're the person they're whispering to type effect. And I don't know if any of you know of ASMR, but it kind of has that ASMR effect as well, because they whisper and they make like noises, and you get like a bit of an ASMR effect. And that one's definitely steamy in the sense that there is a lot of, obviously, vampirism in it, so you hear all this like sucking noises and stuff. It's quite funny, like, thinking about it. And obviously, if you're into that, then this is the perfect series for you. There are so many of them. I think it goes Haunted Dark Bridal or something, More Blood, then Dark Fate, then Lost Eden, and then Chaos Lineage, I think. Those are the main games, as well as fan discs that branch off of them. There are some of them available in PSP and PS Vita. There is one Switch one. I have only played the first two, so I can't really comment on all of the characters, but if I had to pick a favourite, it would be definitely Ayato, which is kind of like the poster boy, and he's very possessive. Oh, note that this game is very, like, it's very doom and gloom, and I think it might trigger some people in the sense that all the characters are very abusive and very sadistic. Like, that's the appeal of this game. So if you're sensitive to that or don't really like that, then I can't recommend it to you, because I think you won't like it, because it is really abusive. But if you find that interesting and you can see that from just like a third person view and just see it as, you know, it's a fictional story and you're fine with it, then it's good, especially if you like ASMR effect, because you hear it all, like, it's interesting. Now, I was going to end this video here, but I mentioned Queen Rose, and one game that really left an impression in terms of Steam is a game called School Wars. This game is about a girl, and it's a high school based setting, and she goes to this high school that is actually a high school that trains for, like, almost military and, like, fighting. It's really weird, I guess, hence why School Wars. But so they learn things like how to, you know, beat up someone efficiently, or, like, it's such a wacky school, and she ends up having to kind of I can't remember what she ends up having to do, because she's like a president type person, I don't know. And but it's very steamy in that whatever route you pick, there's always CGs, like multiple CGs that go from cute kissing all the way to, like, a bed scene. As I said, these are all 17 games, like 0D. So, you know, you don't see everything, and to be honest, I like that, because I don't think it's like, I don't really want to see everything, if you know what I mean, because when you can see everything, it's like, ew, I don't want to see that, because it just, I don't know, I just don't like it as much. But yes, so, you know, you get to the bed scene, but it's nice being able to see that step by step, because it's just kind of, I don't know, it's just more immersive, you know? Like, I tend to read it from the main character's perspective, and I don't I don't put myself onto the main character, but, like, I don't know, I just think it's more fun, and it makes my heart race more than a game where it just gives you one CG. So I had to include School Wars into this little selection, because that was one of those where it had multiple CGs, much like Varupuruga no Uta, which is kind of a similar concept. Now, those are the ones that come to the top of my mind. Do comment below, or join my Discord and DM me or something if you have any further questions regarding this game. If you would like another video like this but on actual R18 games, I'm more than happy to make that as well. But yeah, I think I shall end it there. As always, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and hopefully I'll see you in another one of my videos. Bye!